First of two appearances from our NHL analyst, Bruce Boudreau. First of all, great to see you. Are you enjoying the hockey so far this season?
Oh, I love it. I mean, when it's been your whole life for 60 years, you know, it's you can't get away from it. So I still really enjoy watching all the games and watch most of the games every night.
And you watched Connor McDavid and the Oilers against the Golden Knights. They lose, a tough loss, but we'll focus first on McDavid. He comes back way sooner than we expected from that ankle injury. How did he look to you on Wednesday?
Well, he could skate. Like, I mean, that's his biggest thing. Like, you look at if Connor McDavid's got an ankle injury, how's his skating? But his skating was fine. But, I mean, it was tough to get loose because he's playing a very well-coached team in Vegas. And Vegas knows what we got to do is we got to stop Connor McDavid. So every time he was loose, you got to see a guy right on him. They're saying, listen, let's get on this guy right away. Don't give him a minute. And you can see just on the clips here that every time he's touching the puck, he's got 2 or 3 guys around him. And that's how you have to stop Connor McDavid, because if you let him loose like this, he's going to get chances to score. But his ankle looked fine, and so it tells me it wasn't a high ankle sprain, which is great because those things can last 6-8 weeks and linger on and on and on. And we want him healthy because, I mean, well, when you're the best, you like watching the best.
Yeah, it's good for the game, good for Team Canada, the Four Nations face-off, too. The Oilers' D had a hard night on the ice, hard night on social media, too. How much blame do you put on the Oilers' defense for this loss?
Well, I have a hard time. When I watch games, I watch them as a coach, you know, and seeing some of the mistakes that they were making on the goals. I mean, the first goal and the third goal, especially, I thought Bouchard had a really tough time at it. I mean, you look in the forecheck, they don't get it, but if you look at right now, it's 3-on-3 right here, okay? And then all of a sudden, Bouchard just stops skating. He doesn't take the middle guy. We're always taught to take the middle guy and let the forward take the outside guy, and he doesn't do it. And it's just not thinking, like he got caught watching the game instead of playing, and those are tough ones. And then now there's 3 minutes to go in the game, and the awareness, like he's just sort of following the puck and puck watching instead of looking around and seeing Hanifin behind him, and those are things that, boy, you really look at. Now you're sitting there going, on the Four Nations, like, who are you picking on defense in critical times like this? Like I mean, he's been the key, or one of the keys to the Oilers' best power play in the NHL for the last 3 years. But, I mean, he struggled tonight with his awareness of where everybody was on the ice at the time. And you can't do that in today's NHL because every team can beat you. And that's a Pacific Division game that's really going to be important come April when the teams could be separated by 2 points.
Let's try to focus on the positive here.
Let's do it.
It was a tough night for the Oilers and their fans. Zach Hyman, though, who had a tough start to this season, has 3 goals in his last 4 games. What are you starting to see from him as he's getting out of that drought?
Well, to me, as a former player, like the confidence you can see when it's not there, how everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And when it's there, pucks bounce back to you. Like he was smiling tonight. Like, I mean, when he scored the goal, he gets a good hop. I mean, I was watching the other night before he scored his first goal, and the puck came right to him, and he was like jittery, and the puck went off his stick. But I mean, confidence is an amazing thing, and you know what? It doesn't take a lot to get it or lose it. And I've seen guys, they score an empty net goal if they haven't scored in 8 games or something, and all of a sudden it's like the monkey's off the back, and they go and they're great guns. And then I've seen guys on the other end of the spectrum too, that everything they touch goes in, and then all of a sudden they have one bad night, and then they can't score for 10 games. So I'm really glad because people were talking about him, and I think he's a great player. I would have him on my team any chance I could get, and I'm glad he's starting to go.
Bruce is not done. He's going to be back a little later in the show. We're going to talk about the hot start for Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. How do you feel about that?
I think it's great. I think for the Capitals, but B for Alex. Like, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people that thought he was going to get 42 this year. Thought it would be spillover into next year. But now with 8 goals in 12 games, I'm pretty sure people are saying, hey, he's going to do it this year.
Yeah, and we're going to talk to Bruce about that very thing later on SportsCenter.